Good morning, church. Welcome to the Crossing Online. Today is Mother's Day, and so let me say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I want to take a moment just now to appreciate and honor the mothers in our community. As I think about our community, we have all kinds of mothers. We have mature mothers who are still imparting wisdom and support to adult children. We have young new mothers who are enduring sleepless nights and nourishing their young ones and helping them grow. We have mothers of toddlers and mothers of school-agers. We have those who are working and doing homeschool right now, and those who are working with their kids in and around the house with chores and homework and everything else. And we even have some mothers that are single mothers, and I just pray that our mothers aren't alone in anything they do, even those who are single, that there would be a wider picture of family, a church that supports you and honors you and lifts you up. And I just want you to know that today we remember you and we ask that the Lord bless you. Let me do that just now with a simple word of prayer. Lord, I lift up our mothers in our community today, in our church family, that you would give them all the support they need, that you would give them the honor that they are due, and that you would bless them with your Spirit, even now, this day. But not just this day, but in every day that they minister to their families, to their children. Just as you have first loved us, they demonstrate your love, and I pray for them. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much, mothers. In fact, today we're going to look at a parable that Jesus tells that gives us a picture of motherly love. So Jesus is on the journey to Jerusalem where he will face the religious leaders, and there's this impending danger from Herod and the religious leaders that he will be killed in Jerusalem. And as he thinks about the people of Jerusalem who stand as God's covenant people, the people of Israel, he says this about them on that journey in Luke chapter 13, verses 34 and 35. This is what Jesus says. "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills her prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How I have longed to gather together your children as a mother hen gathers her chicks under her wings. But you would not have it. Therefore, your house is left undone, and I will not come again to you until the day that you say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" And of course, that last line that Jesus speaks foreshadows his triumphant entry into Jerusalem, where small children and others are waving palm branches, putting them down on the road as he marches into town to prepare the way for the Messiah, and shouting, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." And so we have a little picture of where the story is headed. But what I want to focus on today is this kind of outpouring, this confession of love for the covenant people of Israel, for the children of Jerusalem. Jesus uses a picture from nature of a hen taking care of her chicks. And so I want us to try to picture this in our own imaginations. Maybe you've seen this before. You've been at a farm or a petting zoo, or you've seen this out in the open, in a barnyard, in a field. But a hen will always have these little chicks running around beneath it, in and out of the legs, a little bit further, a little bit closer. And anytime there's a sound or something moves, you see all the chicks kind of swarm back around mom. And the mother hen is protective. She will sort of lift her body up so that her legs are long and pull her wings out, and all those little chicks run right under her, and then she sort of settles down on those chicks, and those warm under feathers will rest and almost bury the chicks. In fact, if you see a hen doing this, you won't even really know how many chicks are under there. They just kind of continue to emerge. And it can be raining, and the mother hen will do this and have all the chicks under there nice and warm and cozy and an intimate, safe, and secure place under her. And meanwhile, the storm on the outside will be drenching her. And so she shelters them from the elements. She shelters them from danger. Oh, this would be entertaining. When you're done watching this sermon, you may just go on to YouTube and look at a hen protecting her chicks from various things. I watched a couple of those videos this week as I was trying to remember how a hen behaves this way. And there's one where she attacks an eagle that's trying to snatch some chicks, where she attacks a cat that tries to get one of the chicks. And so she just spreads her wings and goes right after whatever predator is bound and determined to take one of those chicks. And so the mother hen shows us a picture of what motherhood is like, that she nurtures her young ones, that she protects them, that she shields them from the elements, and that she keeps them from danger, that she keeps them warm and close and intimate. And in this way, creation glorifies God, because it gives us a little picture of what God is like and how he cares for us. But I know that it's not just hens, but mothers are just that way. Mothers love us in a way that we don't even really deserve, or that we don't have to earn. Our mothers care for us in this unconditional way that I think we want to honor and look at a little closer. I think about my own mother, and there's a couple of stories that come to mind as she cared for me. And one of those is when I was young, about 7 years old, and my sister Lisa and I were just little guys. And when we got tired, Lisa would get cranky, and when I got tired, I would pick on her just a little bit more and try to get her to squawk a bit. And on this particular day, we had gone out on vacation. We lived in Uganda, and so in East Africa, and so we had gone out on vacation to a national wildlife park, a wilderness area. And we had been driving around and had been in the car, and we'd come back for a lunch, and this was after lunch, and we were playing, and I was making Lisa squawk, and my mother was keen enough to realize that I needed a nap. And so where we were staying, this lodge was sort of set up like a motel with a door facing the outside. And so my mother left the door open so my sister Lisa could continue to play just outside the door with her doll. And then I was required to come in and lay on the bed and try to get some sleep. And in order to help me fall asleep, my mom came in and laid down in the bed next to me and sort of kept it quiet and kept it still. But since that door was open, a wild baboon came in through the door. And now you might think of a baboon as a nice, sweet little monkey, right? But actually they're quite violent creatures, and they have these sharp canine teeth that are well past 2 inches long, and the grip of their bite is stronger than that of any dog that you could imagine. And so when this big male baboon came into the room, there was danger. So I jumped up to the head of the bed, right where the pillows were, and tried to sort of climb up the wall, and my mother put her elbow around me and shielded me and got in front of me and came up to the front of that bed and shouted at the baboon in her most deep and aggressive voice, "Get out, get out, get out." And that baboon jumped up on the counter where there was a loaf of bread, snatched the bread, and ran out the door. See, when danger approaches, a mama will self-sacrificially get in the way to protect her child. Now, another thing that I remember about my mother as I was growing up was when I was a bit older, when I was in high school. I could ask my mother anything. She wanted to be intimately connected with me. She wanted to be a safe place to ask any kinds of questions about faith, about school, about girls, about how to deal with friends, about punishments. And so I would process life by taking time to talk with my mom. And when I think about how I had a good mom that took care of me in those ways, I started to think about what it is that makes motherly love so special. And I think there are 4 things that I want to highlight. First, motherly love is abiding love. There's an intimacy in which a mother desires to have a relationship with their child. They like it when we read together, when we talk together, when we play games together, when we go on walks. Mothers celebrate time spent, weird little gifts that their kids bring to them, all the things that develop a relationship deeper with their kids. They want to develop trust. They want to develop a healthy environment. They want their kids to know them, to love them, and they want to show their love to their kids. So one of the things that I think is special about mother's love is that abiding love, that it's intended to be relational. The second thing that I note about mother's love is that it's unconditional love, whether we're being good or we're being bad. Mom knows us best and she loves us anyway. Isn't that true? I mean, the thing about a mother is that we know that no matter what happens, the kid is still their kid. And so we have a hard time in our society trying to even understand how a mother can abandon their own child. We would say that that is wrong at a deep level, because we know that the mother's love is unconditional. It's supposed to be there no matter what happens, no matter how hard it gets, no matter what the child has done. The mother is still there. And so that unconditional love points to something that we see in God's love, and that's that covenantal love. It's not just a love, a warmth and a protection for now, but it's a promise of future love. That tomorrow, no matter what happens, unconditionally, I will still be there for you. My love will not die. My love will endure. It will not fail. I will never stop loving you. So it's one thing to be caught up in the current feeling of love. You think about when you're dating, right? There's a way that one week you can be so excited and infatuated with one person, and then the seasons change and your attention is drawn somewhere else and you're infatuated with another person. So during that time, you don't have unconditional covenant love. Your attention can be moved from one person to the next person. So you still want the intimacy, the abiding love piece, but you don't have a promise of future love. So in marriage, we start to see that picture of a promise. It's not how much I love you today, but there's a promise that I will love you in the future, that we will grow old together, that as we change, our love will continue. But even more than in the marriage covenant, there's something about a mom that says, from day one, when I brought you home from the hospital, I committed to love you no matter what in the future, all the days of my life, all the days that I am your mom. The third kind of love that I see is that compassionate love. And because the love is unconditional, it's a love that shows mercy. When the child messes up and does not meet expectations, mom still loves the child. There's always an option, a way to get through it to the future. See, the mercy of mom never ends. Her compassions don't fail. After the mess up, there's a way to reconcile and to continue. Moms just don't break up with their kids. They forgive them again and again and again. So here's the thing, is that a mom will be compassionate even when the current expectations of behavior are diminished, right? Even in disappointment, mom is hoping for the best future. Mom is working towards the best future. And that takes us to the fourth kind of love. So it's intimate and abiding. It's unconditional and it's a covenant. It's forgiving and merciful. And finally, it's nurturing. The final kind of love, the fourth kind, is nurturing love. It's growth-oriented. The goal is for the child to thrive, to become an adult. A mother doesn't want their child to remain 3. A mother will enjoy a 3-year-old, but if the 23-year-old is still a 3-year-old, she's hoping for something better, because it is her life's mission to nurture that child into adulthood so that they can thrive as an adult, so they can make their mark, make their contribution to society, so they can be a contributing member not only of the family but of the community around them. And so the goal of motherhood is to raise a person to the time that they can be sent out from the home and thrive on their own. It's a growth-oriented, nurturing love. And so we may think of these characteristics, this motherly love, as an attribute of mom. But we must remember that mother, like other human beings, is created in the image of God to reflect God's glory. And so that's why Jesus says, I've longed for you, right? I've longed to gather you together under my wings, just as a mother hen gathers her chicks. Because what we know that's true about motherly love, the best parts of that are true about God's love, about the way that Jesus loves us. Jesus wants to say that I am like a mother hen who cares for her chickens. The instinct of a chicken, the motherly love of our mothers, is a picture of how Jesus longs for us and loves us. Jesus wishes, longs for the intimacy, to draw us into himself, that we would be warm, safe, and secure, sheltered from harm, from the elements, from the dangerous parts of life. Jesus, like a mother, has a covenantal love with us. He wishes to have a love that lasts for eternity. He wants to draw us to himself, that we would be eternally reconciled with him, that we would be with him forever, that his love will not die. And even when we mess up, this is gracious, nurturing love that seeks our best future, our most redemptive future. And so what Jesus really is about is nurturing us in a growth-oriented fashion, that we would be holy as God is holy, that we would grow up and do what is right and be all that God has created us to be. He loves us with a redemptive love. And that takes me to this last thing that I want to say, because you knew I would have to take it to birds at some point, right? My love for birds, there's one particular bird. I've never seen this bird except for on film. I want to go see it someday. It's in the Great Plains of North America, the greater prairie chicken. So this is a wild chicken. And one of the things that happens is that wild chicken behaves in the same way that our domestic chickens behaves. And the hen will collect her little ones under her wings. And what they've found is when a grass fire moves through the plains, just like with rain or any other danger, the mother hen will shield her babies. And as the grass fire goes through, it will damage the mother without damaging the chicks. In fact, when biologists, ornithologists, and conservationists go in after a grass fire, they'll find a mother prairie chicken burned up and killed. And when they move the corpse, they find that the little chicks are still well and alive, and they can be nurtured to health. I think of that picture because that's the picture that Jesus has in his mind. That it's not just that we have these categories that I talked about love, that it's relational and abiding love, that it's unconditional love, that it's compassionate love, and that it's nurturing love. But most of all, the love that Jesus has for us is self-sacrificing love. He loves us so much that when danger comes our way, he will put himself in the place to die for us that we might have life. Just like a prairie chicken will shield her chicks and die in the fire so that the chicks will not have to experience such fire. Jesus has already done that for us. He has stepped in the way of the consequences of our sin. He has taken on the flames of the punishment of our sin, and he has died in our place that we might be protected and have new redemptive life in him. So, brothers and sisters, this is my prayer. That we would live in such a way that honors that sacrifice. I want you today to love on your moms, call them up right now, write them letters, care for them, pray for them, honor them in every way, and thank them for the deep love in which they have loved you with. But remember that the love that your mother has shown to you is only a snapshot, a picture of the greater love that Jesus Christ has for us. And so on Mother's Day, let us also honor the Lord, who loved us with a motherly love, who loves us with such a great love that he has died in our place that we might have new life in him. And here's my prayer, that we would return from whatever wayward way we've been picking at this food or that food, that we would rush back like that swarm of chicks to the Lord, to be sheltered by his wings, to be nurtured into all that God has created us to be. Brothers and sisters, Be blessed.